Hey guys, I'm back, and unfortunately today I'm equally as bored as I was yesterday, so we are going to make a beautiful stir fry with some dried ramen noodles that I'm sure you have in your cabinet. But before then, while I wash my hands, 20 seconds I promise, please enjoy NYC comedian Rishi Mathur to bring you some jokes so we can get this started the right way.
What's up, everybody? All right, cool. So during this quarantine, I've learned two things. There's ups and there's downs. The upside is I don't have to go to any more stupid weddings or events that people invited me to. I'm out and I'm loving it. The downside is when you get in a fight with your girlfriend, you have nowhere to go. Like, I'm hiding out in the bedroom right now while she's out there watching TV because we're pissed at each other. And then when she comes in here, I have to go back out there because that's where I'm sleeping at night. It's terrible. And you know what we fought about? She likes ramen noodles and I like Maggi noodles. The biggest difference, one's East Asian and one's South Asian. And she says we have nothing in common. Nothing in common. There's one thing in common. We both like noodles that are in a cup that you put in a microwave. That's a common thing. I don't understand. I'll tell you this one thing, though. I hate her, and she hates me. That's one thing we have in common. I'm pretty sure she's good. I hate you!
So normally when I work in restaurants, I end up using way too many ingredients and overthink it. We're gonna keep it nice and simple since we're stuck in the house. Some of the ingredients are a little weird, but I'll explain them to you. So what we have here, right, is the few fresh vegetables that we wanna use because we're all conserving them, but we also don't want them to rot. Peeled garlic, which is what we have left, some spices, oil, salt, table salt, and the ramen noodles that we're gonna use, and then we're gonna use Spam. Now to prep the vegetables, of course, we're getting them very clean, just like we did our hands. In this case, for the stir fry, you're gonna want the vegetables to cook relatively quickly, so you don't want them to be too big of a size. But that's about a good size. They'll cook relatively quick. And these green onions we're pretty much only gonna be using as a garnish, so you wanna make sure that those are washed extra specially carefully. So the last thing you have to prep, and it's only 3 things, is the garlic, right? But in this case, you don't want to cut it too thin because it's going to be cooking for a pretty long time. And garlic, in this case, you know, if it burns, it ruins the whole dish. So we're just going to keep it kind of thick there. Next up, we're going to work with the Spam. And I know a lot of people say they don't like it, but if you cook it the right way, it's going to taste great. And you're going to be slicing it just into pretty much bite-sized pieces that you're going to fry up. And right about here is the size that you want. So I know probably all of you already know how to cook ramen noodles, but we're gonna do it this way. The water's already boiling, so don't add the package in because this is gonna be your spice for the pad thai. Just keep a good eye on this. You don't wanna overcook the noodles because you're gonna be frying them up. Just enough to break it up, as you can see here, and begin to get it cooking just so that it's gonna be soft enough and we can fry it. Spam, you really wanna get it to have that kind of crispy outside caramelization. So use a little extra oil, which I know people are a little afraid to do, but in this case, you'll really love it, and get it nice and hot. So that you can just kind of let sit because the enemy of caramelization is movement. So let it sit, let it sizzle, you'll hear it nice and loud, and when you turn it over, it'll be perfectly caramelized on both sides, and then we'll throw the noodles. Now, while that's caramelizing, we're gonna work on the noodles over here, because once that's ready, it's ready to go. And if you cook it too much over with the noodles, it'll lose that crisp texture. We're gonna take our aromatics, our garlic, and begin the process of sweating them down. We've got the garlic starting to sizzle there. If you happen to have extra onions, you can throw those in too. So this is why you wanna save. Most people don't like these ends, but they're actually gonna work fairly well, kind of the same way a shallot would. And these are starting to brown. We'll start to get them cooking. Now that the oil is nice and seasoned with that garlic, you're just gonna wanna mix them up, get them nice and coated with the hot oil, and go ahead and throw those right in it. Make sure they're fully coated, and let's start spicing them up. Because my belief in cooking is that you do it the way you like it. And in this case, I like to add a lot of spice. So I'm adding paprika, and these are already going to be a little spicy because I'm using the spice packet. A little bit of onion powder, since we're low on onions. We can take these packets that came with it and spice it up that way as well. Now with all these packaging, you're not going to need much salt. I mean, they already have a lot of salt within them, and they're going to be very strong because you're not having it in a broth. And you can see it starting to change its color, fry up nicely. So now we're taking this Spam, which has crusted up very well, and throw it right on in. Try to keep that oil out because obviously that's very unhealthy. Now we have our beautiful thing done. You can see how crunchy that Spam is. So now that we have it all finished and complete, we're gonna plate it. Sometimes you can twirl it up if you want to get fancy. Now we have it all done, we can use the green onion for a garnish and just give it some pretty green color, and you have a beautiful stir fry. So now let's give it a shot. Wow, it's super good. It's super good. And the Spam is super nice and crunchy. I hope you enjoy it because I'm gonna have to drink some milk after this. Mine's a little spicier than yours is gonna be, but enjoy it. So I'm stuffed, and I tried to give my scraps to my cat here, but apparently they're not fans of Spam. But you will be if you give it a shot. As we end, I'd like to end with a couple more jokes, just to keep everybody cheer. So let's talk to Rishi one more time.
Alright, so now that I'm doing this web series, I want you guys to know who I am a little bit and give you guys that personal touch. Alright, so I'm actually born in the most eastern province part of India. Care to guess where I'm from? If you guessed New Jersey, more specifically Edison, New Jersey, you're 100% correct. And in my village, I'm known as something called a coconut. And what that means is a man who's brown on outside, but white on inside. Stay safe, America.
Thank you guys again so much. Have a great night. Keep positive, keep happy, and if you feel like it, subscribe. We're gonna have many more videos to come. Bye, guys. So I almost had it. Could be a crackhead. I've been locked in here for days.
No.
Action.
Action.
It's gonna be our protein source inside of the stir, inside of the. Go ahead. I'll let you do it.
Now's the time to honey pot.
Come here, Scream. Come eat some of Mommy's Spam. That sounds disgusting.